everyone, it's Paige and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're going to continue with the Shot Scope coaching series, and today we're talking about course management. Most people think if I make more birdies, then I'm gonna shoot lower scores. But really, most people are losing shots on the golf course by making stupid mistakes because they don't know how to work their way around the golf course and think their way around the golf course. Double bogeys are an absolute killer to your score. Double bogeys and higher, and most of the time you can eliminate a double bogey just by being smart with how you work your way and think your way around the golf course. So today I'm going to show you how to think your way around a golf course, give you some tips when you're in trouble, and how to eliminate stupid shots. It's easier when you know the golf course, and that's why when you play matches or when you bring your friends over to your home course, you have that home course advantage because you know where I shouldn't miss it, where the best spots to be are. But when you're playing a golf course for the first time, I think that's when you really have to focus on your course management. And so I'm at Red Rocks Country Club today, and I have never played this golf course before, but I am so incredibly excited. Fun fact, I actually shot my Happy Gilmore towel on this golf course, so there's a special place in my heart for this course, but it's the first time playing it. So we're gonna work through that together, and so when I'm on a new course, I'm gonna show you how I think through it and give you some helpful tips that hopefully will lower your scores and eliminate those double bogeys. So this is a par 4. So it is 354 yards, a bit on the shorter side, but when I'm standing on the tee, I am just imagining kind of where I want to hit it, how the hole is shaping. So it's a dogleg right up the hill. And the first thing that I'm going to do when I'm on this tee box is I'm going to shoot different pinpoints so I know what club I need to hit. Since it's not the longest hole, you don't have to hit driver. And I think sometimes people try to hit their driver way too many times throughout the round. And especially if you are not confident with your driver, you can get in trouble very quickly, especially on a hole like this where it seems to narrow up with the farther you hit it. So you want to try to always land it in the widest part of the fairway. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my shot scope and I'm going to get some yardages. So when I'm looking at the fairway and this hole, I'm noticing this tree on the right side. I'm going to shoot that. That's at 178. I'm going to shoot the bunker on the left side, which looks like the end of the fairway, and I don't want to go farther than that. So that is at 258. So my driver would probably roll into that bunker. So if I naturally tend to hit a draw with my driver, so this hole doesn't actually set up that well for me. And since I know that, and if I hit it straight or a little bit left, I will be in the, looks like the hazard on the left side or that bunker. So the 3-wood is the smart play here, but I'm gonna play it two ways. I'm gonna play it safe and I'm going to hit my driver, and we'll see which one is better, but it's definitely going to be the 3-wood, and I know that. You always wanna pick a club that you feel very comfortable with. If I hit my driver here and I'm standing on the tee, I know that I naturally it doesn't set up for my eye, and I'm not gonna have that confidence, and so that's when you get a little tense and you hit the shot you're not supposed to hit. So always play safe when you're a little bit nervous on the shot at hand. So I've talked about this before, but it's really important on where you tee up on the tee box. So for a hole like this, if I like to hit my little baby draw, and if I'm on the right side, I really cut off the entire hole because I have to start it right and it's gonna move left. But now I have to almost take it over the tree. If I move all the way over on this side, now I have so much of that fairway open and I'm able to hit my nice little draw and I don't feel so closed off. So I hit the 3-wood and it wasn't the most perfect shot, but since I played safe, I stayed out of all of the trouble, and that's what you want to do when you play smart. I looked at all of the problem areas and all of the trouble, and I knew no matter what I did with my 3-wood, unless I hit a absolutely horrendous shot, that I was going to be okay. So golf is hard enough. You don't need to stress yourself out by trying these shots that you honestly just don't have in the bag. So I hit 2 good shots off the tee, but we're talking about how to get out of trouble today. So we have this ball in a very difficult position. So there are trees in my way. I really don't have too much of a shot towards the green. I have one, and I'd have to hit it low, a nice hooking shot. And I think a lot of people will come here and see that and they're like, you know what? Phil Mickelson could pull it off, I can pull it off. And it's like, no, Bob, you're a 30 handicap, you're not Phil Mickelson. And so you really need to take your ego out of the game. I talk about this all the time, but that's so important for a shot like this, where you're looking at this and you think that you can pull off a shot that you have never practiced before, that you just don't have. And even I'm guilty of this, of seeing an opening about this big and thinking I can pull it off, because if you do pull it off, you're like, maybe I can make a birdie, maybe I can get a par. But here's what happens. You go for it, you hit a tree, hits the tree, it goes OB, you take a drop, same thing happens, and then all of a sudden you're looking at double, triple, or higher. And so you have to play smart and know your limitations. The best and safest to do is to just chip out to the left side of this tree. You could potentially do this opening here, but again, what's an extra 50 yards, right? Like, that's what we're looking at here. I can't reach the green from here, so taking that risk isn't really worth it. If I could go here and potentially hit the green, maybe I would reconsider it, but again, it's only just an extra, 50 yards? That's okay, it's a short hole. And so I'm again gonna grab my shot scope and I'm going to shoot the trouble area so I know how far I have to hit it. So to the hazard on the left, it's 111 yards. So I'm looking about, that's max. Like, you're not even looking at the 110, even that 100 number. You're looking at probably about 80 yards, and that's gonna leave you a nice little shot in. So I'm going to grab my 5-iron. My 5-iron is my go-to when it comes to punch shots because I like to keep it low. You have to look at these branches here, and they're not that low, but even if I hit maybe like a 7-iron and catch it a little high in the face, it could shoot up. You don't have to do this big, put it back, de-loft it, choke down, do this whole thing, because then you almost hit it too low into the ground. Again, don't overcomplicate it. Now I'm back in play and I have a shot to now save my par instead of potentially getting myself into more trouble and making a really high number. So I'm back into play. I made it easy. Always try to simplify it and make it as easy as possible. Again, you look at this shot and you're like, I have to de-loft, I have to do all this stuff. You really don't. It's a little chip shot. Club selection is the most important part. Take a club that goes low and just chip it back into play. You don't have to overcomplicate it. So we're gonna try the hero shot. I'm just gonna show you how to hit this if you ever have the opportunity to want to try and practice this on the driving range. I recommend working on the range first before you take it to the golf course. So I'm going to hit my 5-wood. I'm about 190 yards out. It's straight up the hill. I have to keep it low under this branch in front of me. And then there's trees on the right side, OB on the right side, trees on the left side. I have about an opening this wide that I need to thread the shot through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit back in my stance, not too much because the branch isn't that low. And then I'm going to make my stance shut. So this helps you turn it over, and that's pretty much all I'm going to do. I don't have to do too much more with this. I'll probably try to abbreviate my follow through just a little bit, but after that, it's more of you hit and hope. So I hit the tree, which I was expecting to do. And again, this is what I was saying, where you want to play safe. I have no idea where that ball ended up, but I do know that the safe shot is right perfectly in the middle of the fairway. So again, don't go for these crazy shots, because that's where those big numbers happen. You start to compound your problem. And normally too, you get a little stressed out and the wheels start spinning and you are just spiraling out of control and you start moving faster. You're anxious about the next shot. You put too much pressure on yourself. So again, make it easy on yourself, chip it out, take the safe play, and from there you can actually try to save your par or get away with a bogey. Who knows where that ball ended up. So now we're going to talk about approach shots. So I am in the middle of the fairway. Again, I haven't played this golf course before, so I don't really know how the green complex is set up. There's 2 bunkers right in front of the green. There's only one on the right that seems to come into play. And so if I'm playing this course for the first time and that pin looks pretty front, let's see what the yardage is. .132, and the front lip of that bunker is 125, so there's not much room to play with. And so for a shot like this, instead of firing at the pin, which is bad course management, because if I don't catch this perfectly, I'm going to be in that front bunker and then I'm going to short side myself, and that is not a place that I want to be. And so instead, I'm going to go for the center of the green here and maybe try to hit just a little bit of a fade to play it towards the pin. But again, you want to always play safe and play smart. There's going to be opportunities throughout your round where you are going to have opportunities for birdie. You can be a little bit more aggressive. Par 5s are where you can take advantage. If it's a par 3 that you really like the yardage, again, that's where you can take advantage. But on a shot like this and a course that you've never played before and you don't really know the green complexes or how far away the bunker is from the flag, you just want to go for the center of the green majority of the time and leave yourself in really good spots. Pars are great. Pars are amazing. They're your friend. Bogeys are even okay too. You have to wait and be patient for the birdies because they will come, but the doubles and higher, those are round killers. They're just defeating. When you are in the middle of the fairway, you hit the bunker, it takes you a couple times to get out, and all of a sudden you make a double or higher. And so playing smart towards the center of the green, because even if I mishit it, leave it a little bit short, I'm gonna have green to work with my chip, and I'll be chipping from the grass instead of the bunker, because I know a lot of people have issues with their bunker play. So it's 134 up that hill. It's a little bit cold here in Colorado right now, so the ball doesn't fly as far when it's colder, so always remember that. If it's early in the morning, the ground's a little bit wet, it's cold, ball will fly not as far as your normal distance, so always remember that. We talked about this in the last Shot Scope coaching series, where most people will leave it short because they don't actually know how far they carry it. Sometimes ego gets in the way, they don't know how far uphill it is, but also it could be because it's colder and it's wet, and as we're moving into the colder months, always keep that in mind too. So with that said, I would normally always hit a 9 probably here. So I'm gonna hit an 8 and I'm gonna choke down. So when I'm setting up right here, I'm not even looking at the flag. I am looking left of the flag with the opening in between the 2 bunkers. So don't even look at where the flag is. If you're not going for the flag, look for where you want the ball to go. So I actually did exactly what I wanted to do, hit a little punch 8 up that hill, didn't catch it absolutely perfect, and when it hit almost at the front of the green. So if I aimed at that pin and I hit the exact same shot, I would have probably been plugged in the bunker or in the bunker. So again, it just shows you that picking the right spot on where you want to hit it is going to be massive when it comes to course management. So this is what I was saying about playing a golf course for the first time and really being smart with how you think your way around it, because I didn't know this green complex. And so if you come over here, you see that there is a big false front, and if I was getting short, it would have rolled all the way back. Being in this bunker would have been a tough bunker shot. So I played towards the center of the green and was really smart with how I set this hole up. So now I hit the green, I have about a 20-25 footer for my birdie, instead of having to grind through hitting a bunker shot or being short. It's just being smart with how you're playing each and every hole. Again, like I said, there's going to be times where you can take advantage and be more aggressive, but 90% of the time, don't. Play smart, play safe, because you're going to shoot so much lower when you do that. We're going to move around to the greens. This is where people lose majority of their shots. The worst thing you can do is hit a double chip. And I think it's because people choose the wrong shot, or they try to be a little bit too aggressive by having to hit the absolute perfect shot. So I picked this shot so we could really see playing safe is smart. And that's the theme of this video, is to always play safe. But it's a little uphill. There's a ridge right in front. So if I mishit this, it could hit the ridge and roll all the way back. And that's what I see a lot of people do. They try to be so cute with it and hit this perfect little shot that they end up hitting it short, chunking it, mishitting it, and it rolls all the way back, and you have to do the same thing again. So you never want to have to hit a chip twice. And so if I'm looking at this shot, I don't want to leave it short. So I would potentially, if you gave me 10 shots and you said I need to get one really close, the shot I would hit would be a flop shot. If I'm in a tournament, that's not the shot I'm going to try to do, because I have to hit the flop shot absolutely perfect, like right around here. And if I miss hit it, it's going to be short, it's going to roll back. And if I blade it slightly, it's going to roll over the green. So I'm looking at just a basic chip shot, and here is my landing spot. You can even take a less lofted club and kind of bounce it in here. I personally like my 54 the best. But if I hit that chip shot, even if I'm a little short, it's going to have enough speed to roll past it, and it might still be short of the pin, but I'm not going to leave myself in a position to have it roll back to my feet. So I am going to hit it normal chip shot, just a little bit past the ridge, and I'm being kind to myself, so I'm going to give myself about 5 to 8 feet of a range that I'm going to be happy with. Again, we see these pros hit these amazing shots, but a lot of us don't practice enough to be able to hit those shots. So we're going to just hit a basic chip shot, get it on the green, give ourselves a chance to make our par. And that, perfectly okay. It wasn't the closest shot I could possibly hit, but it was the safest shot. So now I give myself a chance to make my par. I feel comfortable with my putting. Instead of having it hit there, roll back to my feet, then I'm nervous and I'll probably fly it past too far, and that's where you get those double bogeys, those triple bogeys. So again, it's just playing the smart shot, especially off of a tight lie like this. I know a lot of people struggle with tight lies, and so just hitting a basic chip shot, have it slightly open, narrow stance, and just turn through it. Again, not the closest shot, but the safest shot. So again, if you have a shot that's difficult, that doesn't fit your eye, that you don't feel confident in, get it on the green. Just get it on the green. Give yourself an opportunity to make your par putt. Don't compound the problems and try to hit this hero shot to get it potentially within 2 feet, because chances are it's going to roll back to your feet and you're going to have to hit the shot over and over and over again. So I put us in another difficult location. So it is in the rough, completely downhill. You're not stopping it, and if you hit it too far, it's going to hit that ridge, it's going to roll all the way back down, and that's not what you want to do. So I'm going to show you, this is my favorite shot to hit. It is so easy and so simple, and sometimes you can't hit just a basic chip shot. With a shot like this, you have to have more of a special technique to be able to put a little bit of spin on it. But again, we're going to not overcomplicate it. Most people, when they think they have to hit a flop shot, and I've showed you guys how to hit a flop shot before, you feel like you need to have a really wide stance, really open, hit this huge swing, and you don't actually have to do that. That's a shot that's more for show, and that's fun, but that's not a realistic flop shot. So this is a realistic flop shot that I'm going to show you. So right here, since it's extremely downhill, my landing spot is right here. You want to just barely carry this rough and let it roll all the way down. And you don't have to do much here. You're going to have a wide stance just to get yourself balanced on this hill. You're going to set your weight on the hill. So you're going to move yourself forward. Your hands are going to be pushed back slightly so the butt end of the club is towards your belly button. And from here, that's it. It's a little bit of a wrist cock, and you let it fall. It's not this big flop shot. You don't have to do really anything with this. You let it fall, let the energy of the club hit the back of the ball, let it pop out, and from there you let gravity do its work. So again, okay, set our weight forward, lean down the hill. That's the most important part. You don't want to have your weight back. Set your weight on the hill and then just let the club head do the work. And sometimes 10 feet is the best shot that you can do in a situation like this. Be kind to yourself, understand that. And again, you have a shot for par. You can make your par, and sometimes bogeys, again, not that big of a deal. You can make other birdies to make it up, but again, it's those doubles and those big numbers. So that is a great shot. Don't overcomplicate it. So sometimes you have these really long putts, and this is where the 3-putt and potentially sometimes the 4-putt can come into play. So I'm gonna give you some tips to hopefully help eliminate that. In the last video with Shot Scope, where we were doing the coaching series, I gave you so many really great drills to work on your putting and your short game. So those are really gonna help you, especially when you have these really difficult shots. Getting more touch and feel, never a bad thing. So again, when it comes to a putt like this, obviously the break is really important, but speed control is the most important thing. So I can see that it's obviously going to break pretty far to the right side, so I'm going to play it up on the left. But again, it's speed control, because if I hit this too short, obviously I don't want to have a 15-footer for my next putt. So I don't think enough people focus in on their speed control. Again, like I said, I gave you some really great drills to work on your speed control, because again, most people just don't focus on that enough. They think that they're having these 3 putts and their 4 putts because they're missing these short putts, but it's really because you're giving yourself too many testers throughout a round. So with this putt, it's a combination of both. It's the speed plus the alignment.
The data in this video is from Shot Scope. Shot Scope products provide GPS distances, but also performance tracking, which is done by having the tags in the top of your grips, and either just playing with the V3 watch or tagging with the H4 handheld. Afterwards, upload your data to the app and you can start to generate insights and improve your game.
So I had really great speed on that, maybe a little bit too hard, and I read it well. But again, with a putt like this or a long putt with a lot of undulation, you want to make sure that you just get it up the hill. And especially if you have like these 2-tiered greens, most people again try to be too cute with it and they don't hit it hard enough, and so it rolls up and then it rolls back down. And the same applies if it's the opposite. So downhill, they'll leave it short because they're too scared to hit the hill and they get stuck there, and then they have to hit another putt. So for this one, if I have a little bit of a hill right in front of me, so I knew I had to hit it a little bit harder to get it up that hill. And also, if you don't hit it hard enough, it's not going to have the right break, and it could potentially end up rolling off of that false front. Again, speed control is really important, but when you have a 2-tiered green, you need to make sure that you err on the side of hitting it a little too hard. And if it's the opposite, again, you want to err on the side of hitting a little too hard. You don't want to leave it on that first tier. You want to make sure you get it up on that top tier. Another really great tip too, if you're playing a new golf course and you've never seen those greens before, is to ask anyone at the course who's there where the greens tend to break. So on mountain courses, people normally say that they will break away from the mountain. So as you can see here, we have red rocks as this beautiful background, and so it looks like everything is going to move this way. And so there's so many times when you play a golf course where there is a normal place where everything tends to break, and that will really help you, because again, if you don't know the golf course, sometimes it's weird. I play certain golf courses that you feel like it's going to break away from the mountain, but there's actually another pole somewhere else and it's breaking towards the mountain. So getting that course information, that course knowledge from the people who work at the golf course is really going to make such a big difference. And of course, if you have caddies, get caddies. They really do help and save you so many shots throughout a round, especially if you haven't played the golf course for the first time. And that is all for today's video. Hopefully you can implement everything that I told you guys today, that you will then eliminate those double bogeys and have better course management. And as always, get your shot scope, because having that data is so incredibly important to seeing where you are losing shots and what you're actually doing really well, so you know how to practice and where to spend your time. So again, I hope you guys like this video. Comment down below on what you want to see in other shot scope coaching series, and don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys next Thursday.